Most of us are afraid of death. I am too. But I've made up my mind to reduce, even if I can't fully remove, my fear of death. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I'm trying to do this. And I'm hoping, my dear sister or brother, that when you finish this, you will share with me your own ways too, so that I will learn. Let's learn together. I'm not trying to make light of this at all. This is very important. But our Lord did say that nothing is impossible with God. And I choose to believe that. I read somewhere a story about a lost boy. His parents were looking for him everywhere. And he saw a burly policeman that was looking for him. Chasing him, the boy was so afraid he ran. When the policeman caught up with him, he was screaming his head off. But that policeman took him to the station where his dad was waiting. And that writer said, that is like death. Death is frightening, but it's actually taking me to my dad. And that has helped me. I've also read about the peaceful passing of Mother Mary. Who can even call that death? As one writer said, she fell asleep in love. And even human beings like me that lived in this world were even asking the Lord to die quickly. In her diary, St. Maria Faustina talked about how she would always ask the Lord why he was still keeping her here on earth. She was a human like me. And the Lord will always tell her to be patient. I also read about St. Therese Little Flower, one of my favorite saints. How she was very happy the first time she threw up blood, showing that she has a dreaded illness. Can you just imagine that? And quite recently, I read online about a nun that died with a big smile, almost laughing on her face. There's something here that I need to learn, and I know it's possible. Difficult, but certainly possible. I don't know when, I don't know how, but all this don't matter. What matters is to take that first step. And to me, the first step in reducing my fear of death is to accept it. I need to embrace death. I need to accept it as God's will. And that to me is the first stage. I look at it right on the face and stare at it because I cannot wish it away. And what helps me is thinking about how the Lord accepted his Father's will. He didn't deserve his own death. Mine is a punishment for sin. So I should even accept it more. Resign myself to obey the will of the Lord cheerfully. The Lord went all through his in obedience and love for his Father. I also remember Mother Mary's plan. You could say her plan went awry. It's like she wasn't thinking about having a baby at that time. But she took it with everything that came with it and made her great acceptance speech, greatest ever. Let it be done to me according to your will. So with all these guiding me, I know that I need to accept and embrace that I will die because it's God's will. Difficult, but not impossible. I see God's dying as his great sign of love. He was thinking about me when he was dying. All through the pains, what I usually call the cross is, Nenye must go to heaven. They want to beat me, or if it would take her to heaven, yes. They pulled out my beard. Oh, it's going to take her to heaven, yes. So I need to have my great sign of love. I need to try and die for him, not making light of it at all. I know how difficult it is, but I will fall and I will stand. Not impossible, just difficult. And I'm going to try with the wealth of the Holy Catholic Church, the great wealth that the Lord left his body, the church. There's the sacrament of confession, but I certainly will go back to being very afraid, doubting, forgetting the way that I'm on and moving to another way. So I'll go to more confessions. I'll apologize to the Lord more often. I heard that the Holy Fathers sometimes go once a week. I'll try to go at least every other week to prepare. I'll receive Holy Communion and be sure I prepare for it. I'll say my Rosary because Mother Mary had so many promises for it. And she's the one that will lead me. I'll have great reverence for Saint Joseph, Father Saint Joseph, whom the church calls the protector of the dying. All these will help me. And one thing more, those who have already taken this journey that I'm preparing for, I am going to learn more about them. I'm going to read books about purgatory. Doesn't it make sense to get closer to people who have done what you're about to do? So I'm going to get closer to the souls in purgatory. I'm going to pray for them and remember them at each Mass, book Masses for them. So I think that will help me reduce my fear of death. Very difficult, but not impossible. On earth here, there are so many things that I still need to do. I need to give a helping hand. I need to form detachment by writing my will. There's nothing that makes you so detached as to write your will. To know that what you consider yours is not actually yours. Somebody is going to have it one day. Every single one. So writing my will teach me detachment. And I have to find time to give even the smallest gift to those in need. If I cannot give, I'll pray for everybody. So I pray that my heart will be expanded to include everyone suffering, everyone. Difficult, but it's not impossible. Also, I'm going to take another step forward. I'm going to start a self-retreat. Weekly, I'll choose a day to think about death, to read about death, as the Catholic Church talks about it. Not as in seances or spirits or things like that. No. What the Lord teaches in his church about death. And I can find this online. Many priests talk about it. The Catechism of the Catholic Church talks about it. So my own Black Friday is not going to be the type that Jumia or Amazon or anybody has. I've chosen Friday as my Black Friday, the day I spend at least 10 minutes or 15 minutes to think about death, to read a book. There's this book, Preparation for Death. I'm going to read a chapter at least every Friday and think about it, face it directly, because that's the way forward. And every year I'm going to choose a particular day. And I've chosen the day Mother Mary died. The day she herself passed through this, she chose to do it, to be like her son. So I've chosen the day of the Assumption to think back and to beg Mother Mary, please, on one of her feast days, to take me along. This I will do, and keep reminding myself that this is only going to be difficult, not impossible. Love shows itself in different ways. And so, since it's the Lord's will that I should die, that means, according to our faith, He's there to prepare me for it, if I allow Him. I also hold that blank check, where He said, ask and you shall receive. Therefore, I'm going to ask about that. I'm going to ask the Lord to make it easier for me, because He asked the Lord to remove. He asked His Father that He should not pass through this cross. Though He after found out that He needed to, He still asked. So I'm going to ask the Lord to make it easier for me, if it's His will, to remove my fear, that when the time comes, He should be near me. Ask and you shall receive. I'm going to see it as a blank check. It's not foolish. I'm going to ask the Lord to remind me of several songs that make me think about Him. And I've chosen 3 different songs. And I beg the Lord every Friday to help me so that these songs will come to my mind, no matter how quickly or how slowly my death will be, so that I'll remember Him and not be thinking about all my pains or whatever it is that will come with it. I'm going to trust that He will do it, because I know He will do it. I'm going to trust that since He has chosen a way for me to die, that's the best way for me to die. Because He said He will not give us anything more than we can bear. I'm going to trust that what He has chosen is the best way for me. It might be my worst fear on earth. I hate drowning. I hate drowning. That makes me shake. I hate fire. But whichever one it is, I'm going to believe that He will see me through. So whatever comes to my mind on Fridays, or like choosing the Assumption, I'm not going to see them as foolish. I'm going to see them as ways that I'll ask the Lord to help me, and that He certainly will help me. For I remember I also read about a woman who loved Saint Joseph, who asked for a son so that she would name him Joseph, and she had one. And who asked to die on Saint Joseph's feast day, and she did. Everything is God's will. Everything I've put down here, I'm just still trying. Still on the first step. But I'm going to even keep climbing that first step, no matter how many times I fall. It's just to get up again and be on the step again. It's very difficult, but I'm going to keep reminding myself that it's not impossible.